Welcome to everyone here in person today and to everyone who is watching at home or somewhere else. We are an open and inclusive congregation. Our members walk diverse paths to find meaning and purpose, but we are united by our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of all. My name is Linda Heidenberg, and I've been a member here since 2015. Our speaker today is Reverend Pat Jobe, who's been our minister since 2020. Now, please join me for the chalice lighting words as I light the chalice before this other one goes out. It's kind of on the fringe. Okay, we light this chalice
to peace, love for each other, and faith in ourselves. Also to be welcoming to whomever we meet, kind and all living creatures.
gathering around this light of hope as we share this moment. Okay, opening words.
Our opening words come from a writer named Bryant McGill. I don't know anything else about him, but I found these words online. He says, "Revolution is simple. It's like breath, out with the old and in with the new. Out with the old, in with the new."
Centering music. Mike.
This is the famous words of Jim Croce. I'll have to say I love you in a song.
So nice. Mike, you said you loved playing that song. Is there anything you don't love playing?
Well, I played Mustang Sally one too many times.
Okay, there you go.
But I still like watching people dance to it.
There you go. We had an associate minister in Greenville whose name was Sally. And I asked her, I said, in high school, did people often call you Mustang Sally? And she looked at me as if to say, "You've got to be kidding." This is from a letter that I recently wrote to a colleague who was a little bit discouraged about his ministry. And he told me that he didn't really like being a minister. And this is what I wrote to him. "You did say you love helping people. And doubtless you would love joining forces with like-minded folks to help everybody change everything. Maybe that is the crux of why ministry is so challenging. It creates the illusion that something of importance is taking place as we gather and ritualize 1 hour. In fact, what matters is what brought us there and what happens after we leave. If our services are little more than solar systems that revolve around the sermon, the readings, and the music, we have missed the point entirely. The mythological 19th century Unitarians treated their services as locker room pep talks for abolitionism, women's rights, and tearing down institutions that made gods of money and gold. Today, their failures are as graphic as their successes, but they did succeed at some things. And of those successes, we have hallmarks of justice to thank them for. God bless those old Unitarians. So what will make 2024 new? Not fresh paint or cleared ground, although both of those are important and meaningful. What about noticing the present moment? Mostly we are controlled by our beliefs about the past and the future. The next 5 minutes will hold few surprises. The next 5 hours are going to go pretty much like we thought they were going to. And we might even apply reasonable expectations to the next 5 days. But the next 5 years, no telling what might happen. Those of us of a certain age have lots of thoughts about our health. Which of our body parts are going to give out? What will we do when we can no longer do what we just did? My own karmic journey has been with people who are unable to walk without help. My paternal grandfather lost a leg in his 70s and walked with crutches the last 20 years of his life. He was an almost constant presence in my childhood, and I wrote this sermon sitting in a chair I inherited from him. I do love that chair. My most recent ex-mother-in-law had bad hips and spent the last years of her life in bed, a fact that occasionally required me to take care of her. My childhood friend Tommy Hicks spent the last 40 years of his life in a wheelchair, and Gabriel and I lived with him during the first year of our relationship. These 3 characters have made me profoundly grateful for the ability to walk across a room or get in and out of bed. And gratitude is certainly a pathway into making things new. The Hebrew text called Lamentations assure us that mercy is made new every morning. Imagine that. New every morning. Boy, that's good news. We can be grateful for that. Mercy made new every morning. Y'all have listened to me enough to know that I believe it is important that we breathe deeply of the air in our lungs. And the very act of taking a deep breath can draw our attention into the present moment. Come on, Bubby, you can do it. A friend once asked me to define my religious practice, and I said, I work to stay present to that which is present in the present moment. Let's take a breath of that. The here and now. And when we do our talk back, I challenge you to share with the rest of us what is present to you in the present moment. Is it just this room? Or is it your agenda for this afternoon after you leave here? Or maybe thoughts of being at Sandy's and Marge's house tomorrow afternoon? That is certainly a wonderful thing to think about. I'm thinking about it right now. A gathering of this auspicious congregation on the shores of beautiful Lake Norman. Imagining that gathering is a good thing to be present to. That passage from Lamentations is so encouraging. Mercy is made new every morning. Might we dare imagine that mercy and the desire for justice and fairness, love and peace and joy and freedom might be made new every morning or in every moment. See, that's the ticket. Moments. Life is not lived in seconds or minutes or hours. It is lived in moments. This moment and then the next. The past flows through the present and right into the future. And if we look for it, we can find the newness in almost every moment. Flowers in bloom, sunsets and sunrises, the clouds Regina paints, Doug Wall in his top hat, Alan and Claudia and Jim Price, and so many of us building dog fences, Jim Arnold washing dishes at Feed NC, and running our YouTube connections. Moments stack up like photos in an album, or however people keep their pictures today in the modern digital age. Life is made up of moments. And if we accept that newness is a quality of moments, we might be surprised at how we are delighted by the simplest experiences. My dear friend Lynn Henderson has a renewed sense of what it means to walk across a room. We all walked in here and we're fairly certain we will all walk out. Remember what it is like to watch a child take her or his first steps. Think about the joy of a walk in the woods or by the ocean. Take a deep breath of the joy that is often found in something new. Before we move into back talk, I want to bring you back again to the wonder of being able to walk across a room. As I was preparing this sermon, I listened to the great Zen teacher Alan Watts. He asked us to consider what faith it takes to walk across a room. He said in his beautiful British accent, "It takes great faith to walk across a room. After all, you don't know that the floor won't give way beneath your steps." The blank pages in your calendar or the open blocks in your digital calendars or those garden spots that need clearing are not really the subject today. A new car, a new house, a new article of clothing, all those new things are not at the heart of experiencing this very special kind of newness. It is more about the newness of each moment, how we might snuggle up to a new moment with new eyes, new ears, new fingertips. Take a breath of that kind of newness and take that with you into the new year. And now let's talk about what is present to you in this present moment. Linda and I are going to try to do crowd control. What's new for you? Nothing. You're all stuck in the old. Anybody? What's new for you? Does anybody remember that Pogo cartoon where they parodied Good King Wenceslas? He said he looked out on the snoo so even, and one of the characters said, "What's snoo?"
Oh,
And he said, "I don't know. What's new with you?"
what's it?
So what's new? Come on, Jim. Talk to
All
us
right,
about
Jim.
washing those dishes.
That's
So what?
that's not necessarily new, but I have had plenty of help from people in this room, I'll tell you, and that's more than new. That's something that we all get used to and need. I had a few things that ran through my mind.
And every time I'm instructed to take a deep breath, I have a mini flashback to pulmonary physiology, because when you breathe out, the little air sacs in your lungs, the alveoli, collapse. And it takes more pressure to open them than to keep them open. So mountain climbers are taught to breathe in with a deep breath. You need it, right? And blow out through a pursed lip. And then back in. You never let the alveoli collapse.
Wow.
So the yogist got it right. It really is important. You want to get as much brain to the air to the noggin that you can. So that's what I think of every time we're instructed. Second of all, there is a saying, when all is said and done, there's generally a lot more said than done. So we want to follow a little bit of Madison Avenue and just do it. And by the way, do it right really should be the tagline. And then it's interesting. Every morning anew starts with good things to happen. And I think, as some of you know, our son is a diplomat, and you can be cynical about politics and things, but I've got to tell you, the people that I've met through him, I'm glad they're on our side representing our country. Across the board, really excellent people. And talking about it, one of them said, I wake up every morning pleased with myself that I'm doing something important to help my country. Boy, that's who I want in our country.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Thank you for
Watch
that.
The Wire.
My youngest son, as some of you know, is a public defender in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he says the same thing. He wakes up every morning delighted to be fighting a system of oppression represented by the prosecutor's office. And represented by the fact that we still don't have universal health care. He says easily half of his clientele would not be in court if they weren't self-medicating on the street.
Jim, I was a Lamaze teacher for 20 years. In through the nose, out through the mouth. That's what you do. Yeah. I just want to, looking at the next year, I don't know what's going to happen in the next year. I always, almost getting older makes you fear the next year more than when you're young and you just take everything for granted. But walking across the room is a good start.
Say amen, Lynn.
Amen.
Amen.
You don't hear that from me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that she's put together this little thing out, and it's not even been a month since she had the surgery. Hats off to you, Lynn. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Sandy.
Speaking of dishwashers.
Speaking of one who can get that crusty stuff out of the corner of the trays.
Better than anybody.
Better than
If you're going to do it right.
do it right.
I
Do
mean-
it right.
It's easy to have plenty of time to do things over, but never enough to do it right. I can't do over this past year, but I am so thrilled that tonight at 1 minute after 12, Lynn Anderson will be the new president.
Anybody else? Sandy, we are so grateful for your service and for the fact that you're going to give us another year as secretary. That's awesome. Mere scribbling, yeah. Okay,
Okay,
thank you all.
we welcome everybody. Mike.
Rock the house, Mike.
Mike,
Oh,
Let's hear what song, Mustang Sally.
Only if everybody dances.
Are you demonstrating you can walk across the floor?
Here it is. This is a Joni Mitchell song. Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and cheerful at the fall of a storm. And the seasons, they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like, when you're older, must appease him, and promises of one day make his dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. Can't return, can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle game. So the years spin by, and now the boy is 20. Though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams aplenty, before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. Can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle game. We go round and round and round in a circle game.
Nice choice. Yeah, this fellowship is important to us. Contributions we make today allow us to sustain and grow our congregation and to reach out to the community, both nearby and the larger world. Your giving affirms our commitment to each other and keeps us going. With grateful hearts, we receive these gifts. May they encourage us to live lives of integrity, compassion, and peace. Now take a look at the announcements. There's a lot of special announcements. Today we are going to not have the social suppers. I think will join us out in the hall out here to say goodbye to Autumn and give her our appreciation. Please sign the card if you haven't already done so. what else? Oh, and tomorrow you're all invited to Marge and Sandy's. If you don't know their address, talk to them. 3:00 tomorrow to bring in the new year at their beautiful home. Okay, yeah, Claudia.
We are going to be building for 3 dogs on the 20th.
3 dogs on the 20th of January.
The build will be in Denver, so it's not real far out.
Oh,
And it's for this was an interesting referral. It was a referral from one of the younger daughters and the family's teacher.
Oh.
And the family most of the family does not speak English. And the teacher called me and asked if we could help. They're the school's trying to help the family.
okay. But in here, it's got January 6th is another one.
It's no cold pets, which.
Oh, what's that?
Which is something that we participate in, where there's a giveaway for dog houses and straw and food and spay and neuter clinic and a rabies clinic. And it's sponsored by
So
cats, helping animals to survive.
in January 6th, that's next Saturday, there's a special no cold dogs. I'm just trying to let the people back home know here what's going on. And the fence build is on the 20th.
The fence bill?
No, where's the no cold
The
set?
no cold pets is we will just be having a booth there.
A booth where?
At the no cold pets. It's at a parking lot in Denver.
Parking, okay,
And people have to sign up ahead of time to come pick up.
pick up
And
things.
there's people there that will be passing things out.
Okay. Puppies and doggies are on our mind in many ways. Okay. All right. So I guess we'll sing another song then. 347, Gather the Spirit. Give us a chance to find it.
Yeah.
Got to find the song first here. Okay.
Gather the spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this 1 hour, our trials light appeal the same. Gather in spirits, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit, heart and mind, see toward the maiden soul. Nurtured in love, conscience refined, body and spirit once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit, growing in all, drawn by the moon, fed by the sun, winter to spring, summer to fall, the chorus of life surrounding all. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
Y'all have to forgive me for my love of puns When I was thinking about tomorrow being on Tuscarora, I remembered Groucho Marx's favorite pun. He said that the tusks of elephants are hard to remove, except in Alabama. In Alabama, the Tuscaloosa. Our closing words come from our dear friend Billy Joel. In his beautiful song, The River of Dreams, he sings, "And in the evening, after the fire and the light, one thing is certain, nothing can hold back the light. Time is relentless, and as the past disappears, we're on the verge of all things new."
Okay, join me for the chalice extinguishing. Oh, I don't have an extinguisher. I'll have to blow it out. Okay, we extinguish this candle, but not the light of truth, of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Have a good new year. Where's my, I'm not finding things here. That's better. Okay, go in peace. And join us out in the hall. Have some refreshments.